What's up, everybody? I'm your host for today, Ragz, and we're going to get into some great sports topics on the Dirty 30. So, my man right here is going to answer some good questions for me, and we're going to have some fun chopping it up, and let's see what he's got, right? All right, you know who it is, DDTV. It's your boy, Ragz. Thanks for coming in and watching another episode of the Dirty 30. Well, the first episode of the Dirty 30, but plenty more coming. So, thanks for checking us out. I first want to say that. Before we get into some of these subjects, I do want you to know that you can be in this spot right here. You can be the next host. All you got to do is hit me up. On top of that, let's get down and dirty. So it's definitely a big weekend for football with the wildcard games going on. And we've seen a couple of great games. We've seen some blowouts, we've seen some surprises, we've seen some disappointments for sure. So we're here to talk about it all. When it comes to my picks from Friday, I did go 4-2. Four and two. So not bad, that's a winning percentage. I'll go ahead and take that. So the first question is, who was the biggest disappointment, right? So what I would have to say, it has to be between Seattle or Pittsburgh, right? I'm going to start with Seattle. Seattle, Russell Wilson, it's been a while since you've won in the playoffs, it seems like. I really expected better out of you, but not just out of you, out of your front line. I thought they were going to be hungry, at least have some pride to keep you on your feet. I mean, I know they were facing a great defense. DK Metcalf got a couple numbers. I believe he had, 2 touchdown catches off 96 yards. He had his numbers, but the full team didn't come up to play. And it looks like DK wasn't enough support, or he didn't have enough support from the rest of the team. He was the only one that really had a good game. So with that being said, they lost to the Rams 30-20. Basically, the starting quarterback got knocked out of the game early, which is another disappointment. I mean, if the starter gets knocked out early, you're definitely supposed to win that game. So you got to give the defense some blame. I mean, they let this running back Cam Akers run for over 120 yards on them and a couple of touchdowns. So, I mean, one rushing touchdown, but over 125 yards. You should have known that they were going to try to run the ball, right? So you got to blame some of the coaching. You got to blame the defense. Russell was out there running for his life the whole game. I know it's a tough team, but I would say you got to at least hold the Rams down to 14, in that type of game, especially when, you have 20 points or you scored enough to win that game, I believe. So that was a disappointing loss. And also the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, this was like the laughingstock game. We kind of warned them. I did pick the Browns in this game because I just kind of felt that competitive edge thing, when somebody talks trash, me as a competitor, I'm not just gonna let you talk trash and be like, he's just doing it for fun, or he's just getting the fans hyped or whatever. Me, I take that personally. Like, even if I was gonna go 100% that game, you're right. Now I'm going 120%. Now I'm gonna try to do something, So that is something that sports players do. So when I seen that, I feel like everybody counted the Browns out. They have a lot of dogs on that team. They do have a lot of competitors. You got to give it to Baker Mayfield. He might not be the most athletic guy. He might not be the biggest, strongest guy, but he does want to win. He does go for that extra yard. That's a lot of what I seen over the weekend. And the Steelers look soft again. Juju did have a big game. I mean, what did he have? He had over 40 yards to receiving, something like that. But it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to get the win. Sad thing is, Big Ben, he throws 4 interceptions, and it's almost like, is that how you want to end your career? We did see a lot of videos of Big Ben after the game, looking sad with his center, Pouncey. And yeah, this is a big decision that the Steelers are going to have to make. Is this a quarterback that you see winning another Super Bowl with, or is he just going to, require you to put so much around him, that it really puts your team back for more years to come? So Pittsburgh has a tough decision with Big Ben. I say Big Ben should probably retire, but I think he wants to push for another year. Pittsburgh loves Big Ben, so I think they give him that extra year. Hopefully, I don't think Juju comes back next year. Honestly, he talked his way out the door in my book. He talked his way into a lot of out of a lot of money, I think. But I mean, he's gonna be playing on another team. He's gonna have success. Wish him nothing but the best. But you gotta go harder before you can start talking so much trash like you have. Because at the end of the day, it will come back to bite you. And especially when you're playing a game like football, it's gonna bite the rest of your team, right? So the biggest surprise, I think we're gonna have to go with the Ravens on this one. Everybody was happy to see Lamar Jackson win. I think that was an excellent game by them and the Titans. They definitely took it personal. Both teams were out there fighting hard. It was a great game. A lot of action, a lot of back and forth, a lot of competitiveness. I loved it. I loved the whole thing about it. When it comes to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, the big question now that he's got that monkey off his back is, how far can he go? How far can he take this Ravens team? Is this a Super Bowl contending team? The Ravens are very good. I love their fight. I think their coach does a very good job getting them ready for the game. They don't seem unprepared. They never seem out of place, things like that. But with that being said, the AFC is pretty tough. Maybe if he was in the NFC, I'd see him going to the Super Bowl. But in the AFC, you're going to have to go through Mahomes 9 times out of 10. And on top of that, the game that they're playing this week is a pretty tough game. Who do we have them playing this week? Thank you. Yeah, we have the Bills. We have them playing the Bills this week. So that's been a tough matchup for them before. They've already lost to the Bills. So, the Ravens are going to have to come out here and they're going to have to prove a lot. That's going to be a close one, but we'll get to the picks later. I'll tell you how I feel about that game. So what else do we have on Down and Dirty? So what is the biggest takeaway from this weekend, right? I think you could take a little bit out of, wildcard weekend, it's still early. We did get those extra games, so it gives you another team to look at before you get to, I guess, the big dogs, the 1 seeds. My opinion doesn't change at this point. I do think Kansas City's going to go to the Super Bowl and play the Buccaneers. First team to make it to the Super Bowl on their home court, the Buccaneers, that would be. And I got Kansas City winning it. But with that being said, the biggest takeaways out of that is the Bucs do have a great path if they win this game against the Saints. I think they could beat the Packers if they get past the Saints. They beat the Packers before. With that being said, Tom Brady, he's good in clutch games. We've already seen Drew Brees the last couple of years in these type of games. It's not like he puts out his best performance, and honestly, his coach doesn't have the best performance as well. So it's going to be a good matchup this weekend. If the Bucs get past the Saints, I think they're going to get to the Super Bowl for sure, but we'll see what happens. Also, the Browns. The Browns is another big takeaway. Not only did they whoop up on the Steelers, they look like a dangerous team. Everybody knows they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs next. Nobody gives them a fighting chance in that game. I think they have a chance. I'm not going to say I'm going to pick them. I mean, Kansas City was my Super Bowl team, so I'm not going to say I picked them. But I think they do have a chance in this game to at least compete, make it a good one. I'm excited to see this game. This is going to be a good one for sure. A lot of back and forth. Hope maybe you catch Kansas City off guard, coming out a little rusty, but I say you gave them 2 weeks, they probably done came up with like 20,000 different new plays and different foot behind the back and pirouettes and all that stuff. So you're going to see a lot of action from Kansas City, I feel like, this weekend. But will the Browns come up to play? Like I said, they've been disrespected. Nobody's taking them serious. Maybe they come back to smash something. So that'll be a fun game. Also, another takeaway, the Bears need to restart. I mean, Mr. Trubisky, don't sign him back next year. Let him out of his misery. Let him go and find somewhere else where he could play, maybe like the Colts or something like that, where he could get loose or, just be himself. Go ahead and find you a quarterback. Carson Wentz is probably going to be out there. Deshaun Watson is out there. I know you guys would love to have him, but it'll probably be a lot to get that type of player when you could have just drafted him that 1 year. So I don't know if they even want Deshaun Watson at this point. It'll kind of be a rub it in your face type thing. But they have a lot of options. I just think Mr. Trubisky is not the option because you guys are just going to... You might squeak into the playoffs in the NFC because the NFC is kind of weak. So you're giving yourself false hope because once you get in the playoffs, teams like the Saints or, the really good teams are going to run over you, and that's not going to change until you do something about it. All right. So they should just let him go. Also, another takeaway, kind of touched on it before. Steelers need to let Juju go. They just need to let him walk. Let him go. I know he's going to be a free agent this year. I don't think he's going to demand too much on the open market. Maybe he signs with a team like the Jets or something who, if they overpay him, so they have a weapon out there. They've overpaid a Steelers player before. But he'll have a market. He'll go to a team. Miami Dolphins would probably be a good fit for him. But you would also have to pair number one with him because Juju hasn't proven himself as a number one receiver. But I think there's other landing spots for Juju where he'll be welcomed at. I just don't see it in Pittsburgh. I feel like they draft well at the wide receiver position anyway. They'll probably draft the receiver this year and replace him. Yep. And also the national championship game. Yeah, national championship was definitely a great game. We all expected it to be a great game, but Justin Fields came out, and I mean, what can he do? I mean, you're playing Alabama, full of NFL stars, basically first round picks on defense. On top of that, the offense is lining you up every time you go out there. So it's almost like if you don't score a touchdown, you're going to lose that game. So, I mean, hats off to Ohio State for pulling the upset against Clemson, but everybody knew they wasn't going to beat Alabama. Nick Saban gets his 7th national championship. Congratulations to him on that. 6th with Alabama. Undefeated season. The biggest reaction from that was Justin Fields. It seems like he's going to be a great star, if you ask me. He's tough. He's somebody you want on his team, just not number one to the Jags, but he's somebody you want on your team. If you're not picking Trevor Lawrence, I think the Jets probably should consider it, but they do have a lot of holes to fill, so they probably do want to fill those holes first. On top of that, if he does get past the Jets, I don't think he's going to get past the Falcons. So with that being said, I don't think Justin Fields hurt his stock too bad. He's a star in the making. I feel like if you take another quarterback over him who's not Trevor Lawrence, that would be the mistake. So there you have it.
Hey, guess what I've been watching? DDTV. Check it out.
All right, let's check out some of those dirt bags. Let's check them out. All right. All right, welcome back to DDTV on this episode of the Dirty 30, and you have reached the dirt bag segment. So this segment is all about highlighting some of the stars that might be getting overlooked at this time. The dirt bag segment is definitely something that I want fans to interact with. If there's a player that you believe is not getting enough shine, please inbox me on Facebook or Instagram. Let me know who your player is. Let me know who your person is. Go ahead and give me a good reason why they should be on the show. I'll let you know. I'll shout you out, and I'll talk about your player right here. And today we're going to talk about Bradley Beal. Oh, we're talking about Bradley. Poor Bradley Beal. Please Beal. free that
having
man.
him
Another great
Free
season.
him.
But he plays for the Washington Wizards. And honestly, nobody cares about the Wizards, right? Nobody cares about the Wizards. And it's sad, but it's true. The thing is, I mean, Bradley Beal's averaging 35 points a game right now. On top of that, he's shooting 48%. So he's very efficient, and he's getting his numbers. That's very hard to do, especially when you have a guy like Russell Westbrook right next to you who demands the ball a lot. The good thing is Russell Westbrook has been in and out the lineup, so even though they have struggled, Bradley Beal has still been able to get his numbers, and it's really sad to see such a talent go to waste. I think you're going to see Bradley Beal force his way out of there soon, or that situation soon. I know he's making good money, but just nothing's working. I mean, you can't knock them for trying to bring in Russell Westbrook, but Westbrook, he's kind of a lost cause at this point. Like I said, he needs his own team, like to go to the Knicks. I think the Knicks to try to trade for Russell Westbrook while you could get him for a little cheap. Bradley Beal would need to go to another team that needs to compete right now. But yeah, he's definitely having a great season. It's being overlooked. We need to get him out of Washington. What do you think?
Good point. I'll take him on my team for sure.
DDTV. DDTV. Go subscribe. So let's get to the dirt. Hey, that was fun. But let's get to the dirt. Let's go. All right, back on DDTV. We're going to get to the dirt, which is basically the conclusion of the show. Since you're new to watching DDTV and the DaDirty. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. So basically, going to just talk about some rapid fire topics to end the show. Again, if you see, or if you want to talk about a sport that doesn't get enough love, or if you want to talk about something that you think that needs attention brought to it, please reach out to me. That's exactly what this is for. Now, it is football season, so you know you're going to hear a lot of football around this time, but I do talk about a lot of baseball, a lot of basketball. I would love to talk about other sports as well, like track, volleyball, softball, whatever, all right? So, that being said, we're going to start off with a little basketball talk, okay? So, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's talk about basketball, because Kyrie Irving set to miss his 4th straight game. This has been some big news. It's been all over the blogs. Basically, Kevin Durant had to answer questions about this from his teammate. From reporters asking, is the team okay with Kyrie not being there? You know, blah, blah. So now basically his teammates are answering questions because he's not there to answer questions. Now I do know KD said he's 100% on board with his teammate, which is the right thing to say. But I mean, come on, Kyrie. You're putting your team in a bad spot. At least come out and make a statement and say why you're not there. Now, there has been people close to Kyrie that stated that he's not there due to protests of the storming of the Capitol, the terrorist attack on the Capitol, the verdict of Breonna Taylor, et cetera, et cetera. Which is fine. I mean, that's cool. But the thing is, don't leave your teammates out to dry. Don't leave your coach out to dry. And they don't have anything to tell the media. At least give them something to say. At least give them a heads up. You don't have to tell everybody, the whole world, what you're doing. But at least you owe that to your coach, you know. So this will be his 4th straight game. It's almost inevitable that you see something's going to happen with Kyrie within the season. I didn't want to believe it because Kyrie's such a great basketball player. I just wish he would just be on board or fully committed with his basketball career. But he's not. He's a human being. He does other things, so I totally understand that. Playing basketball is just his job. That's where he makes his money at, but he's also interested in other things. So I can't be mad at him for that. I'm doing the same thing right now, right? So with that being said, also news, I know it's very early, but the Lakers have got off to a fast start. And a lot of people are thinking, will they repeat? And if they don't, who would challenge, right? So the Lakers are a very interesting team. They're a very strong team. With that being said, they've made a lot of noise in the free agency. So yeah, they've made a lot of noise in free agency, bringing in some great bench talent like Harrell over from the Clippers. They also picked up Marc Gasol from the Raptors. They also picked up Dennis Schroeder from OKC. So they've gotten deeper as a team. So it seems like they're actually better than the team they had last year. A lot of people will say that. And on top of that, you have LeBron and AD for another year. They're more comfortable with each other. With that being said, will they repeat? I think it's very hard to repeat. They have a very good chance, I'm going to say. But I would say no. I would have to take the field. If the question is, will the Lakers repeat or will I take the field? I would have to take the field because I think getting out of the West this year is going to be a lot tougher for them. I know people have forgot about the Clippers and they give the Clippers a hard time with Paul George. But like I said, competitors, they have to be angry from the choke job, all they were hearing, and you were up 3-1 to the Nuggets and you lost and you guys were supposed to win this year. I know they've heard all the chatter. I know it's been there. So they have to come back to try to do something. I mean, I would believe so if it was me. Let's talk about some baseball too. The there was a trade not too long ago for Josh Bell, and also Kyle Schwarber just signed a free agent deal with the Nationals. So my focus is on the Nationals right now because it seems like they're trying to make some moves to compete in the NL West. The NL East. The NL East is a very competitive division, maybe the most competitive division in all of baseball. So the Nationals look like they're not backing down. They look like they want to be a part of the playoffs again, like they were 2 years ago when they won the World Series. Now, Josh Bell is a great power back. Kyle Schwarber is also a great power back. But I don't think the Washington Nationals are quite done. Especially if they want to compete, they better not be done. They do have a very big hole at third base, I would say. Carter Keyboom, he was a great prospect. He put up great numbers in the minor league, but from what we've seen in the majors, he has not put up the same type of production. With that being said, I think Chris Bryant, if you could get him for a good deal right now, I know the Cubs are trading a lot of their guys. Why not? Why not get him? I think that would be a perfect fit for the Nationals. You throw Chris Bryant there at third. He's also versatile. He could play some outfield. If you need to put Kyle Schwarber on the bench, on top of that, if the DH does go to the NL, I think it's a slam dunk because then you can keep Kyle Schwarber in the DH position. You could put out a better defensive outfield. And like I said, Chris Bryant can also play some left. He can play some first. He's a very athletic player. And then that's more protection for Juan Soto. Now you put Chris Bryant in that lineup, it looks a little scarier. And you're gonna have to consider them as being maybe a favorite in the NL East, at least fighting with the Mets and the Braves at this point. With Philly and the Marlins scraping the bottom. So my favorite in the NL for now would have to be, I would still say the Dodgers. I mean, you got to show me that the Dodgers aren't going to hit bombs and put up numbers through the regular season because every year their offense is murderous, 1 through 9. They knock you out, they beat you up, and then on top of that, they bring guys out the bullpen that can shut you down. That formula has been working for them for years. I don't see that stopping. I do think the Padres and the Mets are going to challenge them. I see the Padres as the second best team. I do see the Mets as the third best team with the Braves. And then, the fifth spot is a toss-up at this point. The NL Central is very weak, so I'm not going to put an NL Central team in there. But yeah, those are my NL teams right now. When it comes to the AL teams, the AL is a little weaker than usual. I know a lot of people would think maybe the Yankees are the favorite, and that's easy to say because you just think of the Yankees as a high-powered offense, but you can't think of the Yankees as the same team anymore, especially with losing a couple of starting pitchers this year. They're going to lose James Paxton, and they're going to lose Tanaka. You don't know how Severino's going to be after the surgery. Their pitching staff is very weak, and you got Garrett Cole making $300 million at the top throughout his career, so he's clogging up a lot of that money. But, I mean, hey, we love when the Yankees spend money. But can they be a powerful team in the AL? I think so, because the other AL teams are weaker. I think you still got to kind of see where free agency goes in the AL. I think a lot of guys are acting slow. I'm looking at the Angels, though. I feel like the Angels need to pounce on this type of moment. You have the best player in the world, Mike Trout. Also, you have obviously the will to spend money. You guys spent a lot of money before. It's time to beef up that pitching staff. There's a lot of pitchers out there that could be had for a great price. Throw about 3 good quality starters in there. I see you guys did trade for a bullpen piece from the Kansas City Reds. But you might want to add another bullpen piece. Some pitching. Everything should be on the pitching side. The offense should be able to hit. Joe Adell, if you could flip him for some pitching, you probably want to do that as well. Maybe look at somebody over there at the Cubs, maybe like a Kyle Hendrick, something like that. You guys just need guys who are going to give you consistent innings and get the outs when they're there, right? So that's that. All right, to the fun part, the picks. So the divisional round starts this weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and throw out some of my picks. The division round, we have Green Bay versus the Green Bay Packers versus the Rams, right? So the Rams showed this is going to be a good one. The number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense. The Rams, Jalen Ramsey, he comes out to play every matchup. A lot of people are already talking about Devontae Adams getting the best of him. That's what they think. I don't think so. I'm thinking if the Packers are going to win this game, they're going to have to find different ways to get either Devontae Adams open, maybe throw him in the slot a little bit more where you can't get Jalen Ramsey on him, or they're going to have to find somebody else to get open. They do have some other receivers like Lazard that can make some plays for them. Maybe they get some help out of the tight end position. They're also going to have to run the ball. I think running the ball is going to be key for them. Aaron Jones, what is he going to be able to do? I feel like he would be the X factor in this game. I am going to take Green Bay slightly. They are favored by 7 in this one. I'm going to go ahead and take Green Bay to win this game off their running game. And I just don't think the Rams should score enough points again. But maybe I was wrong. I was wrong last time. Second, we got the Ravens versus the Bills. This is going to be probably the best game of the weekend. They have the Rams favored by 2.5, so basically a field goal. I think the Ravens win this game. They beat the Bills in an upset. Maybe because I just want to see Lamar Jackson do well. I don't know. But I think there is some competitive in him. I don't think, just like that run that we seen him take during the game last weekend, if he wants to get to the end zone, I think he's going to get there. So I have all my faith in Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to do a heck of a job. I got them winning that game. Then we have the Chiefs and the Browns. The Chiefs are favored by 10 in this one. So, again, the Browns are heavy underdogs. But, again, I think this game is going to be closer than they expect, especially closer than a lot of people would expect. Because, like I said, just the competitive edge. I think the Browns are going to come out ready to play. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be mad. So I am taking the Chiefs because that's who I picked in the Super Bowl. But it's going to be a close game. I don't think by 10. I think maybe by a field goal. Maybe a game-winning drive by Mahomes at the end. Maybe by like 4 or something like that. All right. And last but not least, we have the Legends versus the Legend, GOAT versus GOAT convo. The Saints versus the Bucks. Now, this is a great one. This is going to be a good one. I think this one is a toss-up game. They have played twice already since they are in the same division. With that being said, I'm going to take the Bucks just out of my gut because it is hard to beat the same team 3 times. On top of that, the Saints did not look that good their first game. I mean, I know the Bucks didn't destroy but I mean, the Saints didn't look too good. They scored early, but I mean, the Bears are just not that good of a team. They have a good defense, but you know what their offense is about, right? So I'm taking the Bucks in this one. The Saints are favored by 3, but I'm taking the Bucks in an upset. So it looks like I have Green Bay, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bucks to win and go to the next round. Let's see how I did next week. All right, guys. We've made my favorite part of the show, which is the poopers. Oh, yes. We're on poopers, so let's go. This is the time where we see the blooper of the week, in my opinion. This is also fan-friendly, so I do want you guys to submit your clips. Let me know what blooper of the week should be or what the pooper should be of the week. I will see it on my show. I will give you credit for pointing it out to me if I have not seen it or if it wasn't my idea already. But this pooper is from me, the fan. So go ahead and check out the one that I picked. Let's go. Yep, let's go.
In rushing. And they start with a horrible snap all the way back to the 2-yard line, and the Browns bouncing into the end zone.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.
Thanks for watching.
On the Dirty
Bye.
30 Sports
See you
Talk.
next week.
See you later. Subscribe while you're here. Subscribe.